Good evening, everyone. I'm Michael Kazilny. Tough times never last, but tough people do. Thank you very much for joining wherever you are around the world. If you're going through some tough issues, just go through the fire. And remember, every human being, if you're alive, has problems. It's our reaction to those problems. A lovely lady on tonight's couch. This lady is amazing. She contacted me about 6 months ago. It's Simonne, a psychotherapist who's a Holocaust survivor, and an amazing story of difficult battles. When her parents moved away during the war, she was in a cellar with the French police, repeatedly raped by French policemen. You tell the story.
Every time.
Welcome along, darling. Welcome along, you beautiful young lady.
Thank you
I
very
thought
much.
we're going to get an older lady, but you're 85 and you look about 50.
Oh, thanks. That's nice.
Thank you so much for contacting me,
Thank you.
Simonne. You're a lovely lady, and before you tell the story, wow, psychoanalyst with Carl Jung.
Yes.
Now, he's a famous...
For 3 years.
For 3 years in Switzerland.
In Switzerland, yeah.
Carl Jung, isn't that amazing? And
This is where I get married.
this lady speaks French, Italian, Spanish, German, and English. She's won a gold medal for services for exceptional to humanity. Nominee for the Senior of the Year in Victoria, nominee for the Human Rights Medal, and for the Australian of the Year Award. Well, you've done a lot, darling. Tell me, how did it all start? Because you've got such a lovely smile and such a great attitude, but you've gone through some very, very difficult life hurdles.
Yeah.
So during the war, your mum and dad left.
Yeah, they left with my little brother. And obviously I had a lot of problems to forgive her after the war because they left me in under the care of the commissaire of police who did prepare all the passport for them. And I was only 12 years old, but he knew what he was doing.
They knew?
And my, not my parents did know at the time.
No.
But I had a lot of problem to forgive my mother in particular. Anyway, for 3 years, I was hidden in a cellar of the National Library, where I didn't know at the time was the National Library, because he folded my eyes when we went into this car, and I didn't know where we were going, and I only know we went a lot of staircase, going down, and it was like a cellar. But he had a lot of shelves with books, all books and all philosophical books.
And Simonne, if I can just, and the reason he took you to this cellar is because of your,
He was going to hide me
Jewish
there.
background, and at the time you had to be hidden from the Nazis, yeah?
Yeah, that's right.
From the Nazis, so he said he's going to look after you.
Yeah.
But then he did more than look after you, didn't he?
No, well,
He was being a real pig.
every day, well, the worst part was the rats, a lot of rats.
A lot of rats.
And very big rats, not the little one.
And
really
you were only
big.
12 years old, God bless you.
Yeah.
12.
And then he had an army bed ready for me there between the bookcase, between two bookcases. And I was there, I was thinking for a week, and I was there for 3 years.
3 years.
And then I was, every time they bring me the food, they raped me.
There was more than one.
More than one.
What, other police officers?
Oh, yeah. Not only the commissaire. So for 3 years, I was sexually abused by.
So everyone from the top to all the men coming down, quite
Every time they
disgraceful
bring me
behaviour.
the food.
Yeah.
Every time they,
What a terrible memory. And you were crying, you were trying to escape?
Well, that is interesting because this commissaire of police bring me a piece of soap one day, who was the biggest deterrent for trying to escape. Because he told me, listen, this is a piece of soap made in concentration camp from the Jewish fat. If you escape, you finish in a piece of soap.
God.
And this piece of soap for me was the biggest deterrent to escape, because it was really
They said it was made
terrible.
out of Jewish.
Massive Jewish fat, yeah.
God,
In
that's
concentration camp.
what a way to scare a 12-year-old girl
Yeah.
in a cellar being raped by French policemen. What a terrible start to a life. What happened?
Yeah, but I was, I must admit that I don't know how I didn't become schizophrenic or something,
No.
because I escape in books.
In books?
I read about 3 books a day,
Yeah.
because that's what I was in bed all the time. I don't know, I didn't have anything else to do.
Sure.
So one in particular, I read many times. And this book is called Candide, from Voltaire. And if anyone have ever read this, it is an amazing little book. Because in this book, this boy, this man, young man, or boy, I would say, see everything that is negative in men and people in a positive way. There's nothing negative. Everything is positive. And this did help me a lot.
Wow, that's hard to...
Yeah. And then I read a lot of books. And I escape in many, when they were raping me, I was not there. I was, part of the personage who are in a book.
Simonne, fast-tracking that horrible story, how did you escape from that cellar and what happened with your life after that, Dal?
Well, in the last 6 months of the 3 years, he was an elder policeman who was quite good and quite nice. And he was the only one who took me out in a courtyard to have a fresh air. And that was really nice. And this is where I saw the stars and the moon and have a bit of fresh air. And he's the one who, after the end of the war, towards the end of the war, came and carried me out.
Wow.
And I was about 38 kilos.
Yes.
And I had tuberculosis. I have been pregnant when I was 13 in a cellar. And I had abortion without anesthetic. And I was terrified that one day I would not be able to have children. That's what I was scared of, because I love children. I always loved children.
Did you think they wanted to kill you? We might talk about how
yes.
you got out of the cellar after that, but what a heartfelt story. Simonne Jemison on the couch, a psychotherapist, lecturer, and a lady who's helped many. We'll be back very shortly. Welcome back to the show. Tough times never last, but tough people do. I'm Michael Kazilny, the lovely Simonne Jemison on the couch. She's a psychotherapist. She's been helping people for many, many years, still helping people now, I just found out. Taken through the Holocaust into a cellar, raped by French police, escaped after 3 years, got pregnant at 13, had an abortion by these filthy people, and says because of that incident, hates authority figures now, or very weary, because she realises where there's power, there's often corruption. And that's so true. You give people power, and it's all over the world. We see it, you know.
That's right.
It's hard to find good people in power.
Yeah.
What happened, darling? Yeah, sorry.
I think I had difficulty to forgive my mother after the war.
Your mum.
And what did really help me, it is when I was about 18, after being in a sanatorium for a full year, I decided I wanted to do go and learn drama.
Drama?
And because I could not speak about my story to my family, I decided in learning to be on stage and be different personality, different person.
Escape your life.
It's going to help me.
Escape your life into another personality, and a lot of actors
And that's what
do that.
I did. And I became at the Conservatoire in Paris. I received a first prize in tragedy and comedy. And so I went for about 2 years. I toured a lot of...
as a stage actor?
as a stage, yeah, as an actress.
Wow.
And this really did help me a lot.
It's amazing.
And I will
Therapy.
suggest anyone who have any problem, that is the best you can do. Psychodrama, who exists in America with Moreno,
Yes.
and are part of a psychodrama, drama.
We're living somebody else's life. We're
Yeah,
escaping out of our own
exactly.
minds. That's why
So
I
you
say
become a different person.
different person.
And you can scream, you can cry. I play Medea. You know.
Simonne, that's beautiful. And because media time's so short, tell us about how did you choose the path of psychotherapy or psychology?
Because when I was in a cellar,
Yeah.
I promised myself that I will help children,
Beautiful.
all the child abuse and all that. And I promised myself that's what I will do. But at the beginning, you know, I didn't went into psychology, but I went into drama and psychodrama. And then when I married my husband, who was
What's his name again?
in Switzerland,
Herman?
Burkhardt, Erwin.
Erwin. Now, I'll just interrupt. Erwin, that's a strange story. She was married, they had a child, and then Erwin had affairs with men. How did you find that out, that he was having affairs with men? That's quite...
I was pregnant of my fourth child at the time, and I didn't know anything about it.
No.
Obviously, he was bisexual.
Yes.
So
I wonder whether it's worse, whether you find your man with a woman or a man.
well, because I think if he has been a woman, it would have been
Would have been worse.
at the time.
Would have been worse.
Well, I think at
Men's
the
not
time,
that important, you know?
You know, at the time, I think we didn't have any idea about homosexuality.
No. How did you
in my
find out?
time.
How did you find out? Did you catch him out?
Well, he bring this young guy from Germany. My husband, when I married him, he was 30 years, nearly older as me. And he bring this young man, and I was really pregnant. And he was making me food under the table. And I was thinking, that's a bit strange, you know. I am so pregnant, and this young guy doing this to me. So I told my husband in the kitchen, and he laughed. That's it. And then I could not sleep at night, and because we had separate bedroom anyway. So I went because it was a big house. I went to his bedroom, and his bedroom was closed with a key.
Did you
So
break in?
I nearly put the door down, and that's where I find them, both of them.
Together.
Yeah, together in
Hugging?
bed. Yeah.
Big hug? and
I don't want to know.
and you had a little child then?
I had, well, then I think my husband could not cope with me
What
knowing
did your husband do for a job? He had a big house. Did he make a bit of money?
Oh, yes, no. The house was mine.
Oh, yours. So you told him to, there's the door,
Yeah,
close it from the outside, you said, yeah? You told him to.
My father gave it to me.
Did you tell your
one
husband
day at
after
a
that,
time.
you better go up with his man?
No.
No?
I still loved him,
Yeah.
and he took me to Spain
He took you to Spain?
with all the children because the doctor said I needed a son and all that. So he took me there when I was pregnant,
Right.
and he left me there
He left you there?
with 4 children and 4 suitcases.
And he went back to the man?
And he went back home, sold the house, went back to Germany. Never saw him after that. And I was with 4 children.
Simonne, what a
And
story.
it was very, very, very hard.
And you loved him still?
4 children on my own
In Spain?
in Spain, in a foreign country for me at the time.
And during all this time, when were you able to study your course?
I work in Spain
What did you do?
in an hotel because I speak the languages. And having my little boy under the desk before giving him the breast milk. And after a while, I had enough money. I went back home and find out the house has been sold. So I went back to Paris and stayed with my mother there. And then I found a job in Italy And I went to Italy. I had 5 jobs
Wow.
in Italy to survive with my 4 children.
And when did
So
you
that's
do?
a lot
When did
of
you
work.
study for the psychotherapy and all that sort of? When did you do the courses?
Well, first, when I was in Switzerland, I went to Carl Jung, who was a friend of my husband.
Right.
And I learned, well, psychoanalysis and psychotherapy. And I was very angry with him,
I can imagine.
with Carl Jung.
Oh.
Because he told me that's what happened to me during the war. I did provoke.
That you provoked it.
Yeah. And I
The
was
rape.
crying a lot because I could not understand
Gee, that's a funny
someone
psychologist.
telling me that.
That's a funny psychologist,
That's
isn't it?
terrible. And then he passed me on Yolande Jacobi. Yolande Jacobi was a very, very good psychoanalyst. And she was Jewish, from Romanian, and she
We might
suffered
talk
a
about
lot.
those helpers
Suffered
after
a
the
lot
break.
under
Simonne,
Jung too.
we might talk about those crazy psychologists who said you provoked it after the break, but don't go away. We'll be back very shortly. Welcome back to On the Couch. This lovely young lady, she's 85, Simonne Jennison, a psychotherapist. What an amazing story. First the seller,
The seller, then,
then the husband who liked the boys, and then the crazy psychologist who's saying that you provoked all this stuff.
what happened to me.
How come we're so lucky in Australia to have a great lady like you here?
Thanks.
And you came here in 1971, yeah?
Sorry?
Here, when did you come?
75.
75.
Yeah, I work at Flinders Medical Center
Wow.
in Adelaide for a few years.
What made you come? Another man?
Well, another man. Well, I believe in experience in life.
Mm-hmm.
And it's no bad or good one.
No.
They are an experience in life.
Yes, they're all experiences.
And I forgive them all.
Nice.
You know, I learn how to forgive.
Beautiful.
And I believe it is important because if we don't forgive, we are damaging ourselves. We are not damaging anybody else
That's so true.
in forgiveness.
That's a good take-home lesson out of the show, forgiveness. You know, not many people forgive. They always have wars and, you know, everyone's too selfish to forgive. But
Yeah.
forgiveness is so important for
So
today's
important.
society.
And because life is only 100 years
Short.
maximum,
Yeah.
so if we think about all that, I think why to make your life a misery?
Oh, you're so
Why
right.
to go back in the past?
You're so right.
It's not necessary.
Simonne,
We have
just,
to go forward and not backward.
you've had such an amazing journey, 85 years. What other challenges did you have besides the ones we've mentioned?
Well, this was another husband I married when I was in England,
Mm-hmm.
and I left Italy to go to England.
Yeah.
And in England for 3 years, I could not cope with the weather,
Mm-hmm.
so I decided to look for a place where it's sunshine and where I could work.
Mm-hmm.
And I had 2 different possibilities. One was in Canada, but again was too cold, in Toronto. The other one was in Adelaide,
Mm-hmm.
in
Right.
Australia.
Wow.
And they accepted me there after a year of looking after all my credentials and all that. Took me a year nearly.
Mm-hmm.
And in October 75, I moved in Adelaide.
And has it been a happy life in Australia?
Yes, yeah.
Yes and no.
Few problems, but I mean, life is full of problems, you know.
Yes.
Yeah.
As my friend Gary Ireland says, I can detect a few inner tears. There's some difficult times.
Yeah.
But, and you've been helping children who've been
Yeah.
abused?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I have created the Children's Rights Foundation,
Right.
and that I can, well, I don't get much help from anybody, but
No.
they are the people who cannot pay for the children or for themselves. So I do free most of the time,
Isn't it
or with
amazing?
very little.
Simonne, tell me
That's
this,
it.
not many people know. Do a lot of people, children still get abused these days?
Oh, yes.
Yes,
Yeah. And
sexually.
not only is the child abuse, but you have also the domestic violence.
Mm.
And also another area who is very, very strong, also in this country, is the teenager suicidal.
Suicide rate.
And I do prevention, suicide prevention,
Oh, that's
in
beautiful.
college or school or what I can, if I can.
Do you think there's always been a problem in Australia with
There's a lot.
police and domestics? It's improving, but back years ago they didn't do much, did they? They'd attend somewhere, and they didn't want to do any paperwork, and it got swept under the carpet. Do you think Australian authorities are doing enough to?
I really don't want to talk.
No, I know your feeling.
I
I know
don't,
your feeling towards authority
I don't
figures.
want to talk about
No,
the
but you know the
police force,
stories.
but you know.
Forgiveness. And do you actually deal with the children as well, or their parents?
Well, I think I do both. I do also
Yeah.
family relationship
Right.
and divorce. So.
And do you also get involved if a child's been, say, sexually abused?
Oh, yeah.
And they have to go to court to give evidence?
Oh yes, I have also anger management.
Anger
Who has
management?
been given to me by some judge.
Oh,
Yeah, well, that was good.
the judge gave you anger management?
Yeah, anger management.
Oh, you do anger management for
Yeah, for the people who
the
had gone to
people?
court.
Wow,
Yeah,
that's amazing.
yeah.
And how you came from Adelaide to Victoria?
Well, because my son was living here, so I decided I'd join him in
Lovely.
Melbourne, and I love Melbourne.
It's a lovely place, isn't it?
Yeah,
It's a great place, folks, isn't it? We should be very
yeah.
blessed. We're in such a lovely city. I just got back from New York, and
I
there's
like
so
the
many
people
people there.
attitude here.
People are nice. It's multicultural.
nice.
And all your
Yeah.
beautiful kids, are they all over the world now?
Oh, well, you never can get out of work if you do with children. We deal with children. They're always there.
Your own children? I mean, you know, all the children you've had. You've got how many children?
I have 4, and I adopted a child abuse one.
Oh, you
And,
adopted
adopted one.
a boy, wasn't it?
A boy, yes.
Who got abused.
Yeah.
And do you see it? Do you hear from those children? All your children? Do you hear from them?
Oh, I am all the time with them.
Yes.
Yeah, we are very, very close.
Wonderful.
And I have 7 grandchildren.
Wow.
And we are very close.
And they're living all over the world? Or are they here in Australia?
Well, no, they're mostly here.
Here?
I have only one son in Paris,
Mm-hmm.
but the other one are all in Australia.
Amazing. And are they all content and happy?
Happy?
Yeah?
Yeah.
Gee, they must be very proud of their mum, huh?
Well, I hope so.
This is quite an amazing...
But I'm very proud of my children. So.
Aren't you wonderful? And this is a great synopsis you gave me, Simonne Jamieson. Psychology with soul. That's beautiful.
Yeah, this is the one I call them.
That's what you call it because
Yeah,
you really...
because I become a Buddhist after
Buddhism is beautiful,
after the
isn't it?
war, because I believe
It's,
I think it's so important.
Yeah.
It's not a religion,
It's a philosophy.
it's a philosophy.
Kindness, karma. You can't go wrong, can you? Whatever you give out comes back to you. You can't backstab and cheat people and expect to have a good life. But Simonne Jamieson, thank you very much. We'll have you
You're
on again
welcome.
with some inspiration.
Yeah,
Really
thank
appreciate
you
you
for having
coming.
me on your show.
Thank you very much. You're a beautiful
you.
person. And you're beautiful
Thank
people
you.
too. Thank you very much for watching. Please feel to share your stories if you've got a good story to share. Have a great week, and I hope you get over your issues as well. Love and best wishes to all. Good night.